Britain versus America. Two full-time workers, two salaries, two completely different systems, and in the next 5 minutes, we are going to find out who actually keeps more money after deductions. Not who earns the bigger number on paper, not which country looks richer, but who really takes more money home. And stay until the end, because there is one major American deduction that can completely change the result. Let's start with the number everyone sees first. Salary. In Britain, the latest official annual earnings data puts median gross pay for a full-time employee at around £39,039 per year. Now compare that with the United States. The latest official American data puts median full-time earnings at around $1,251 per week. Annual that comes to roughly $65,052 per year. Using a recent exchange rate, the British salary is equivalent to roughly $52,700. So before we even touch taxes, America is already ahead by around 23%. That sounds decisive, but gross salary is only the opening number. The real story begins when the deductions start. First, Britain. Imagine a standard employee in England, Wales, or Northern Ireland. No student loan, no unusual tax code, no extra pension deductions. On a salary of £39,039, the first £12,570 falls within the standard personal allowance. Income above that is taxed at the basic 20% rate. That works out to roughly £5,294 in income tax. Then comes national insurance. At this salary level, the main employee rate is 8% on the relevant portion of earnings. That removes roughly another £2,118. So that original salary of £39,039 becomes approximately £31,628 after income tax and employee national insurance. That is about £2,636 per month. In simple terms, the British worker keeps roughly 81% of gross salary before other voluntary deductions. And Britain has one important advantage. You normally do not see a separate monthly health insurance premium deducted from your salary simply to access the National Health Service. Remember that point, because it becomes very important when we cross the Atlantic. Now, America. Our American worker earns roughly $65,052 per year. For a single taxpayer in 2026, the federal standard deduction is $16,100. After applying that deduction, most of the remaining taxable income falls within the 10 and 12% federal tax brackets. Estimated federal income tax comes to around $5,626. Then comes FICA. Social Security takes 6.2%. Medicare takes another 1.45%. Combined, that is roughly $4,976. After those federal deductions, our American worker is left with approximately $54,449 per year, around $4,537 per month. That means roughly 84% of gross pay survives federal income tax, Social Security, and Medicare. So now America appears to win twice: higher salary and a slightly higher percentage of salary kept. Britain, 81%, America, around 84%. Case closed? Not even close. Because this is where the American paycheck becomes much more complicated. In Britain, the main income tax structure is relatively predictable. But in America, where you live can dramatically change what you actually keep. Some states charge state income tax. Some cities can add local taxes. And then, there is healthcare. This is the deduction many international salary comparisons quietly ignore. For workers with employer-sponsored health insurance, employees still contribute part of the premium. Recent research shows that the average employee contribution for single coverage was around $1,440 per year. But for family coverage, the average worker contribution was approximately $6,850. And that may still not be the final healthcare cost. You can also face deductibles, co-pays, and other out-of-pocket expenses when you actually need treatment. Suddenly, the clean American advantage starts getting smaller. But there is another trap here. It would also be misleading to say that Britain automatically wins because healthcare is structured differently. Because lower healthcare deductions do not erase a lower gross salary. Convert the British worker's estimated take-home pay into dollars, and it comes to roughly $42,700. The American worker, before state taxes and benefit deductions, is still around $54,400. So at this point, America remains ahead. But now we have reached the real question. Not who earns more, but who has more money left after everything. Because after taxes comes rent. After insurance comes child care. Then transport, energy bills, food, housing, and every city changes the equation. A salary that feels comfortable in one part of Britain can disappear quickly in London. And a salary that looks enormous in America can feel completely different in places like New York, San Francisco, Boston, or Los Angeles. That means there are actually 3 different salary battles. Battle number 1. Who earns more before tax? America wins. Battle number 2. Who keeps a larger percentage after basic national deductions? In our example, America still wins, but only narrowly. And battle number 3. Who has more disposable income after housing, healthcare, transport, childcare, and everyday living costs? That answer depends heavily on where you live and how you live. So here is the final verdict. If we compare representative median full-time workers, America wins the headline salary battle. And in our simplified calculation, the American worker also keeps a slightly larger percentage before state taxes and benefits. Around 84% versus roughly 81% in Britain. But once state taxes, health insurance, family coverage, and local living costs enter the picture, the gap can shrink dramatically. So when somebody says, people in America earn more than people in Britain, the data supports that direction. But when somebody says, therefore, Americans automatically have a better financial life, that is where the comparison breaks down. Because your salary is only what your employer promises you. Your take-home pay, is what the system allows you to keep. And your real disposable income, is what remains after life takes its share.